Hello, good morning, everyone. So I hope everyone can listen me.
Yeah, yes, Pradeep.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So what I'm going to do for today is we'll just try to see how Tosca would interact with the elements, the web-based elements that we have. So as we created one of the project yesterday, a workspace. So we can just click it here from the recent ones, or you can just click on open, and then whichever location you have given is what you can go there and select the workspace. So if you see, uh, it would be this Tosca Commander repository. So TWS, as I said, workspace would be in this extension. So this extension is what you can take and say open. That's it. So you will be able to open this. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'll again try to create a new. Uh, Reason is I just want to create the type of repository as SQLite, because in real time, again going forward in real time, you would be kind of not working only on single repository, right? Not just for yourself. Even if it is only you who would be working in the project, there's still chances are like that has to be on some repository. The code has to be on some repository, and the other advantage of code having in the repository is, uh, if you say, so if you just store it in your local, and let's say tomorrow something happens to your system and had to format, and yeah, something or the other, you had to do it. So if you do that, so whatever work you had done, everything goes in vain, right? So that's where, yeah, in general, real time scenarios, we'll be uh, keeping our code onto some cloud, some repository, some database. So Tosca, in uh, in one repository, let's create, which is SQLite. And so again, same things. Most of the things would be same. Branch, yeah, don't have, only thing is workspace name you have to give here. And let's say, and in the first thing, you just uncheck this use existing repository, because you're not using any existing repository, which means you are creating from start. So if you are using some existing repository, then it would be like, yeah, from which branch and what is what we have to give. But it's okay, I'm just uh, creating a whole new repository. So I'll give this repository name as, what should I give? So say SQLite. So 2023. This is our repository, and the same goes for the workspace. I don't want to change even the location. And as I said, if you don't check this, and if you just say create, so it would create, but everything with a, uh, what I say is, blank. Nothing would be uh, the default code, the default modules, whatever Tosca offers us as a standard module subset. We haven't imported that, so wherein we don't get those default code. So it's taking a while to start. If you see at this work location is what it has created the workspace. And yeah, so here comes the main part. Uh, so when you're logging to repository again, yes, multiple users is what people can work on. And that repository for now, it is in our local still, but it kind of acts like uh, a common shared repository. And then even in the local, wherever it is there, to access that, you need to have users again. So how would you have this users is by default for the first time when you're doing it, yes, you would have a username called admin and the password would be empty and you can log in. But again, as I said, if someone else uh, has to work on this project, and then yes, we can create their username, the password, and ask them to log in, so that even they would be able to get the common shared code whatever we are working on. So for now, as I said, username would be just admin, password would be empty, and just click on login. If you see, it would load all the sections as we say. And now if you see in the test case section, it is nothing is there, empty. Even if you go here, modules, yeah, there's nothing. Same goes with all this stuff. So now,
Pradeep, hello.
yes, Nawal.
Yeah, Pradeep, sorry to interrupt. Pradeep, so while you're sharing, right, to others, we can give password empty, Pradeep. That's fine.
Uh, you can give, but then you can ask the other person to change the password. Even they can do it, and yeah, it is again they wish. So yeah, we can give it, create with an empty, or you being an admin, you can create any password, username, password, which is like others can't guess, others shouldn't know about that. So you need to give that particular kind of thing, or yeah, whatever you give, ask the user to change the password, so that others wouldn't be able to log in with their credentials.
Okay, so a password is not a mandatory thing, right, Pradeep? Just now, as we see.
Yeah, the admin default thing, Tosca guys, they have did it this way. So they have scripted, coded it according to this particular requirement.
Okay.
So meaning you should have a username called admin and the password is empty is what they did it according to that. So that's where yes,
Okay, got it.
that's why we are able to do it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Thank you,
Right.
Pradeep.
Yeah. Okay. Now if you see even so whenever you see again the tab over here, most of the things would be remain same, but few things just like especially this tab, so it gets keep changing. So when you are on the test case section, this is what test case related tab is what you would get, and you would find the options related to that. So if you see these options, you have create folder object. So creating of folders, again select this. If you want to create folder, yes, you can create folder here, uh, this thing. And you see now this tab itself is not there, but just select this, so you would see this test case now. So meaning whichever section you highlight, now I'm on modules. So if I'm select modules related tab, that details would be shown. Same goes with the requirement, this test case design, so all the other tabs. Okay. uh, so this is this other option. And yeah, now the thing what that I wanted to show is, go to home, go to project. Here you would see all these details as we discussed, right? Now click on this workspace, and uh, there is, now we need default code, right? As I said, default modules that Tosca would be using. So to get that, how we can do is just select your workspace. Again, within our workspace is what I want that import to happen. So we basically have to import, get the default code. So just select this, and in the home section here you would find something called subset. So subset, again, as I said, it's kind of within Tosca we call subset. Reason being that code. So whatever we write in Tosca, we store it as a subset. So that data, whatever it is, it gets stored as a subset. And the extension .tsu is what we would have it. So that part is what we have to um, import it. So that's why just click this, click on this import button. So once you import, you would get this window. So here, as we know, the default location, it's in C. So C colon, go to the C, and then you would find something called Tosca projects. And then there is common repositories, workspace, Tosca commander. I'll just see where this is about Tosca workspace, the commander, and this is a repository that we created. Yeah, here, sorry. In the Tosca commander, here we have this standard.tsu, the file. So you would find some code, default one. As I said, we are looking for this standard. So here we get it. Just click on that and say open. So as soon as you click on open, Tosca would be importing the code that is present in that subset. So in the default standard module, you would have modules. As I said, specifically we are looking for those modules. So that is where we would be having. Now if you just drag it here, keep it here. So if you see this test case now, see test case, some import has happened, and then the standard module the same. So same way for this standard modules we have got, and everything goes same with other things. So this is how you can import. And once we get this, I would just say just remove this. I don't want this test case underscore import kind of thing. I'll just remove it, and the content is what I've just taken out. So this one, this paragraph, close this, delete that part. So now if you see, uh, this is where you would be able to import all this stuff. So I'm fine with execution. I don't want anything. So that's where I'm just deleting this part. So if you see on the workspace, you would get some option like here. If you see this icon, green in color, meaning so now in a shared location, shared workspace. Uh, so here we would have three different things. One is green, one is red, one is empty, none. It would be nothing. So when it is green, which means we are kind of checked out, at whichever location, whichever folder we are working on. So we are working in the workspace completely. So that's where onto this we have this green in color, meaning we have checked out and we can do changes in any of these components. Now any of these sections, be test case, modules, all this stuff. So this is one thing. And the other thing that you can see, this one, this is green, but this is something empty. So this is empty. Here what do we have? What does this mean is, under this module, under this folder, we have added something new, and when there is something new, we get this icon. So this way. And then sometimes when there's somewhere or the other, uh, we would get this red in color. uh, uh, yes. So what do we have here? Just a second. Uh, So yeah. What-
And Pradeep, you said the empty one, the white color
Yes,
thing. It means after launching, if we add anything, it will be like that, or
correct,
because
correct. So
it is
see,
not, that is a not new one we have created, right? That's a existing one only. We
even
just
new one created in the sense, when this was there, something new has come up is what it shows. So we have added, in the sense, we have imported some default code, right? Which means we are still adding something new. So if you see, I've created a new folder, so that's where even it shows this. So even in modules or somewhere, if you just right click, create something new, yeah, empty thing. So
after launching,
and
if we add anything, it will be.
sorry, what was that?
Means if these are come up with before launching, then it will be filled with the green, right?
Correct, correct, exactly. Everything would be filled with new, the green one. Uh, so this is initial thing. Now, if we say it, wait, uh, so here, if you say, as I said, the other two options, or the red one, I will show you later, part of our sessions, how it will be and what does that mean, or meaning. So when it is red, okay, first thing I will just, what I have to do is, let's say I've created some test cases. Now I will create a folder, applications. As I said, I want, only thing that we have to focus more on is folder structure, structuring our uh, project, so that it would be easier for navigation purpose later, even in maintenance when we do. So if we just have to find, okay, where is this particular test case, so this test case might be in this particular module under this particular sub module, and yeah, that would be the name. So all those things, this classification, all whatever we do, that if you have that clear picture, same thing, if you just have it, understanding way, it becomes easier. So that's where you have to do it. And yeah, so, and the common mistakes, like, people have you would be doing when I was working with my teammates. So generally when they create this thing, when they do create some, let's say, 4 or 5 test cases they have created, and sometimes they don't save it. And when they don't save it, Tosca gets hanged sometimes, and we have to forcefully close that. So when we force close it, so whatever unsaved things would be there, most of the times that goes off. So that's where the best practice is, when you do something, make a habit of clicking saving every now and then. If not, uh, what I would say, at least every half an hour or 1 hour, something kind of that. Keep doing it. So just to make sure whatever work you do is won't lose. So you won't lose that part. That's why just make that habit. I know this is very small, but important as well. So see here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a test case, right? So I was in this demo web shop, and then test case, right? So right click, and then you would have all these options. So you would find this thing, uh, click this, create test case, and here I'll say first test case. So this is my first test case, and I'll click on save. So this I have did, and any changes, anything else you want to do, yeah, keep doing it. What I will do is, I again, as I said, I'll, for modules, I'll create the folder structure. So in applications, we will go to demo web shop, right? Demo web shop, and then modules I'll create under this. This two are enough for now. I'll save it, and now I what okay, whatever changes we had to do for that particular period of time, yes, we did it, and now we are good to uh, give it or show it to someone else, whoever, like for our lead. If they ask, okay, do this work, so create some test cases, and once it is done. So if you see one more thing, again, every test case that you create for the first time, uh, we would have this detail section. Under this detail section, you would have this fields. Under this, there's something called work state. Work state of that test case. By default, it would be planned. Planned meaning, again, we are just planning to work on this test case. Next is the next step would be like kind of you started working on it. So if someone has to know if this comes, or like if this one or two test case, yeah, these things won't you feel won't require, you don't need it. But when you have hundreds and thousands in general scenario, you would have obviously hundreds and thousands of test cases. So when you have that part, so even the small things would be more important. So first time, as I said, it would be in plan. So when you are started working on any of the test case, make a habit of making it or show it that you are working on. So you would have something called in progress. So there is a drop down from here. Just click this. You would have something called in work. So in work, when you select, so the icon again it gets changed. If you see for the plant, the icon was this way, and when you select in work, the icon would be this way. So this is again an indication saying this test case is in work, in progress kind of thing. And once the test case is completed, just say it is completed, and then that icon goes off. So this is our test case, like this. So let's say we have completed our test case, whatever we wanted to do, and I will save. And once we save, uh, so we want to now share our code, right? Our code to the repository. So how we do is uh, we have something called check-in all. Check-in all in the sense we are pushing our code to the repository. So click on this check-in all. So when you click on this check-in all, if you would say after a while, once it is finished, so everything goes off. So check-in all finished, and you see everything is empty now. There's nothing over here. And even in SQLite, this workspace, so if you see no green or nothing, which means everything is checked in. And now the other user, if they were having only this default code and not the one that we created, so for them, if they had to get our code into their system, so once they log in, what they have to do is they have to click this update all button. Update all, again, we are just updating our workspace, updating with whatever the latest changes are there in the repository. So if we just click this update all, so update all would be happening, and then the other user, they would get this code. So this is about uh, this update all check in. And now let's say, okay, I want to add second test case. So what you would do in that case? You would obviously go to this folder, right click, and you would try to create the test case, right? So second test case. But here we are not getting an option to create test case. Neither in test case section, if you see, you won't be able to create uh, anything in this folder. Why? Reason is, so what this Tosca guys they have implemented is, uh, so to work on any of the items in the shared location, you just have to first say that you are working on particular item. So how would you say that you are working on some particular item? So let's say if you are just working on this folder, what you have to do is, again, go to home, just right click, and then you would have some options called this log buttons. So which means you now with this options telling the other guys, other people in the team, that you are locking this particular thing, you are locking this particular part, and then so how would you lock? basically by clicking on checkout or shortcut Control O. So click that element which you want to lock and then click on checkout. Checkout in the sense you are just locking this particular, and then as soon as you lock, you would get this green. Now green option when you have, what does this mean? Which this means you can do changes in this particular folder now. So if you see in the test cases, you won't be able to do any changes. You want to create folder, you can't. Why? Because you haven't logged it. You haven't checked out that folder. So, but yeah, here under this folder, if you want to do something, right click, you see, you can create folder, you can create test cases, you can do this. So, this green. Now, when it is green to this in applications, when for the other user, for the initial thing, it would show everything empty, right? But then when the other user takes an update all, or tries to do something in this specific folder, then he would see, after a while, he would see here it would be red. Red meaning, yeah, someone else has logged it and you won't be able to do changes until someone else finishes it. Or you, if you want to do any changes and then say some to the other person who has checked out, how you can know that? Just right click on this and show checkout details. So if you see this part, then you would come to know which user has checked out and who is working at what time was it checked out. So all those details is what you would get, and you can just connect with that user and check if they are working. If they have done finishing it, say them to check in all, so that this code would go in the default location, so in the repository, and then after that you can again check out. So yeah, I guess for now we are good with this. Again, I will go in deep later what is this checkout tree and what are the other things. For now, um, so when you say checkout tree, only thing is, see, for the first test case, if you want to do anything again, you won't be able to add anything. Why? Because this test case is not checked out, only the folder. So on this level you have checked out, and only on this level is what you would be able to do changes, not inside that. So inside that particular part as well, if you just want to do, then in that case you have to say checkout tree. Checkout tree in the sense you are kind of wanted to make modifications, changes within this component, within this folder section. So now if you see, all the items whatever are present would get this green in color. So when you know, okay, you are the only one and you want to do mostly every time check in check out, I just don't want to do that, what you can do is just go to the workspace, right click, and you can do checkout tree, meaning you just want to do this checkout, there are many objects it says, and I'm fine, just click on this. So you would get all the screen things over here. So which means now we can do changes in any of the sections. So all just in once, you can do that. So now what I will do is I'll just quickly jump onto again this part later in our sections. As we complete few sessions, you would be knowing more on that part. Uh, so what I will do is,
So Pradeep, you're saying only one person can edit if we are check out the folder or anything, right?
right,
So one group of people are working, so it will be disadvantage, right? If the main folder is someone is checkout, so the other person will not. It will not
right.
allow other person, right?
Right. So what we do in real time when we are working on, so we won't be checking out whole thing when we are working in a team. So that's where I said right just now, if you know you are the only one who is working, yeah, you can just check out the whole tree and work on. But if you are working in a team and others can work on some specific thing, then in that case, the best practice is you just check out on the specific thing that you want to work on. Let's say if you are just developing only modules, and also in modules only specific folder you just create, and only that folder you just check out. and then only work on that folder. So that is
Don't you
how
have
we
any
do
other option to release them?
release this particular part. Yes, we have, but then it would uh, lose the person who is editing. So that person's work would be lost if you just release it. So yeah, let's not go that detail for now, Aruna. I will explain that thing later. For now, let's just uh, thing is, yeah, check out, and it should have green, which means yes, you can do changes into your folder. So if it is green everywhere, so in all this component, in all these sections, yes, you can do the changes. uh, so what we are going to do is, I was trying to explain uh, demo workshop, right? We'll go to this demo workshop, and then you see this URL. So to this URL, we will try to see how we can work with Tosca. So to interact again now with this application, Tosca, what Tosca has to do is under modules, in modules, you just say right click on the folder whatever you have in module, and then we have an option called scan. So and then we have different options as we see all the stuffs, but we are scanning an application. So just click this application, and whatever applications are started, it's in active mode, that would be shown in this Tosca window. So this Tosca window, Xscan. So this is Xscan window, and you see what all options are open. It shows that, and there you just have to select on which application you want to work on. So I want to work on our web-based application, which is demo web shop. So I will click this and then say scan. So then it opens, or else just double click this, and then a scan window would be opened. And what Tosca would do in this window is it would be scanning in the sense trying to get the properties of all the elements in this page. So all the elements, complete details, whatever now where those details would be for this application, it will, if you just right click on this, and you would have inspect. So if you see this thing, elements, so if you see this, we would have this elements again. So all the details. So if you just say want to see if this is, just right click inspect. So this is the element. You see, excellent. So this thing, the whole element properties would be there in this console. So this element, right click inspect, when you do in any browser, you would get the details of this. So when you just mouse over, also it highlights which particular section it is related to. And if you see here, it is header menu. If you just go down again, you would find some details again. If you just click digging on more, you would find books. You see books is highlighting on the section screen. So the next element, which is computers, the same way, the elements properties would be there here. And so same thing, what Tosca would do is with that Xscan, it would try to scan the properties, and according to that, it stores. Now if you see this window, the Xscan, what all options do we have? We have advanced view first, view, and then this basic initially would be like this, just this options, nothing else. Or advanced, when you say all that elements actions would be shown. And then we have some properties over here. And so if you see this things, while we try using this part, we will be uh, knowing more. For now, let's just focus on what we want to do. So if you see here, what are the ways with which you can just scan and interact with the elements. So for now, you just click on this condense, okay? And then what this condense is, it minimizes this pop-up, and then when you just mouse over in that application, so you would able to see Tosca is identifying this things, right? So div, the HTML, so from that scan, so this is some link, and if you see this register, again link, icon, pay close to the icons as well, wherein it shows what type of element it is. So this is there, this means it is a link. uh, Now if this box is there, dot box, div, which is just the container, not any type. So if you see somewhere this thing, this is okay, you see okay, and then subscribe. So box, under that box there is something called okay written, so which means this is button. So this is button, and this is now radio button with this dot, circle and dot. uh, so link with this icon, and other things, something which is unexpected, question mark, even Tosca don't know what this section is. But then li, for that they are saying, okay, this is li, this is container tags and HTML, you see. So this is how you would find these details. So I'll just go back again, I have not done anything yet. What we will be doing is, if you see this options, so finish screen, we have highlight section. So highlight section, so if you have some items over here, and now say for few things, when you just uh, see it by name itself, you would be understanding and knowing, okay, this register and this is a link. If you just click it, and then this means it is this register. But again, if you just want to make sure it is that part, what you have to do is, there's something called highlight section. So select the property or select the item which you want to highlight. Click this and go to highlight section. When you highlight, you see that red color is showing here. So which means it is highlighting which property is this, which element is this, which item is this on the screen. So if you just click something else now, digital downloads, or if you say digital downloads, okay. If you say this digital downloads, I'll click this and it would highlight this. Same way for this thing, books, it is doing this, it is doing this appear. So all this items, yes, you are able to find it with this highlight section. So highlight section helps us to do that. Next thing is select on screen. So if you have hundreds and thousands and you know, you don't know which particular element or item is this link or this login, if you don't know, then what we can do, we can just say click select on screen, and then when you just mouse over, you would be able to again see this. So click and then you would see that properties. So this is something select on screen. But the most major ones now that comes is this section, so identify by. So how would you identify any of these Tosca elements? So with Tosca, we have this parts. So if you see, we have, this is main interview question again. How would you identify uh, elements in Tosca? So with one is with properties, with this properties, whatever you are seeing. With anchor, what does this anchor mean? Is with some sort of reference. Sometimes in real time, when you interact with any of the elements out of hundreds, it is possible like one or 92% of the elements won't be identified so easily with just properties. So most of the time, first priority should be like properties. We should be able to we should be using it. If with the properties, whatever is given by Tosca, is we are not unable to locate that particular element, interact with that, then we just have to jump on with the next one, which is anchor. So anchor is with some reference. Now anchor here is uh, let's say we have some element which is not unique on the page. So we have what, let's say, take this wish list. So wish list is not unique. We are not able to find wish list. But to find wish list, we can, first thing is we can find register, where register is. If you see on the screen, from register, if you just want to go to wish list, okay, this is what one, two, three, third step. Just go to the third next step. With that third part, so we can locate what element we want. So that is where anchor is nothing but you're trying to locate the element that you want to interact with the help of something else, and that something else should be again unique. Even if this is not unique, then pick something else which is unique. So yeah, on the screen, like you would find something or the other, obviously for sure something unique, and with that unique, yes, you would be able to locate the unidentified element as well. So this is anchor. Again, images, if you select this, based on image as what Tosca would show. So anything that is there as an image, Tosca can locate it. So this wish list with this color and with this uh, area is what it, if it scans and if it keeps that image. So the next time when the browser is launched, the application is launched, so it would try to match what we had in our properties for the image thing, and it tries to match and it tries to find it based on that image. So image base is what we are trying to locate element. So this is that option. And next is uh, the index space. Now, what is this index space? If let's say this wish list, yes, we want to select, but if we have two wish list, and then when you see the properties of that wish list, you would find with the properties, with the help of that properties, you would find, okay, there are two things, two identifying results we are getting with the properties that Tosca is identifying. So out of this two, now you just have to say, you obviously you would know whether you want to click on the first wish list or the second wish list based on your requirement. So let's say I just want to work on the first wish list. So if it's the first wish list, you would uh, say the index of that as one, meaning first occurrence, first index of, if the properties are same, and then out of 100 elements, if you say index 1, you want to select the first one. If you say index 10, you want to select the 10th one with the same properties. So that is where index helps us. So with all this, again, we will we will be doing uh, some exercise again, like within Tosca. Like when we try to automate, I would try to cover all this, most of this again, with at least one example each. Yeah, I would try to do it. So what you have to uh, know here is, so we can identify the elements of Tosca in four ways. So you can identify uh, the element in Tosca in 4 ways. One is properties, second is anchor, by image, and then index. This is interview question. So now let's jump to what properties are. So when you select this properties, by default, this properties would be selected. So this identify by properties is what we get. And if you see now this thing, so it comes from the starting part. So here you would find something called the module. Now this is your module, the main page. So demo web shop. So this title. So if you see this and see the properties, so properties are what all properties we have. We have some steering, we have representation. Again, this is internally to Tosca and technical. So these things for now don't bother much. As we keep using it, we would be getting familiar with this stuff. So you would have this properties. Under this properties, now if you closely have a look, you can see we have okay action point adapter, this enable default name, we have title, we have visible, we have content type, ready, title, URL. So all this stuff we have it. So for the module, how Tosca is identifying. So if you see this module and click on highlight section, so it highlights this part, right? So it is highlighting the complete thing, which means it is showing uh, so it is highlighting this section, which means okay, this is specifying okay, this is the area, this is the location, this is, and how Tosca is identifying this particular thing, it is this with the properties, with the help of some technical property. The name is title and the title would be demo webshop. So with this property, the title property, Tosca is identifying this as a module and this as the screen. This is the area. So same way, now if you just go to, let's say, login, click on this login. If you click on this login, again, the properties for that element. So you have representation, you have technical, you have transition, some expert. And so if you see in this, we have again some options, some properties. We have this is enable visible focus, is steerable, class name, href, id, inner text, tag. So these things again internally when you did this inspect thing, again inspect. So if you see, this is li, this is a href, property is this, and then this part. Uh, what I was trying to show is, yeah. So this properties, if you see of normal web page, what is this? Now this thing is nothing but tag, right? This bracket, angular bracket, and first thing. So it starts HTML first thing. It starts with this HTML part, and then we have header section, we have this body, and then close of HTML section. So a web page is represented in this format, HTML, and then the head, and then this body, and closing of this tag. So within body, so if you see mouse over the sections, is this thing is getting highlighted. So this part, so we have something called divs. We have this div, and we have script. So div, so if you see this angular bracket and then name something, this is nothing but a tag. So this is tag, this is UIL, UL, LI, script. So all these are tags. And now inside tags, again, if you say A is anchor. Anchor is nothing but it represents a link. So if you see this link. So this you want to see, this is again links. And then the properties of that link. So what are the properties that a link has? So href login, and then class as icon login, and then this is something called inner text of login. So different things we have it here. If you would see, so here again, href, a property of this is with href with the value wish list. Class is this, okay, and or something else. If you just show, so this thing, if you say the tag is input. Input meaning we some something that we enter on the screen. If you want to enter, so the tag for that most of the elements would be this input. So input would be the tag of that element, and the properties of that element, we have type text, we have class, we have id, we have autocomplete, so some properties again, all these things. So these are properties, right? Tag properties. So same way in Tosca as well, you would have this thing. So Tosca, it unnecessary things it removes, and whatever is major or what Tosca would need, basically those properties is what it would take. And with that, you should be able to, mostly you should be able to identify or interact with that element. So if you say this class name for the login, again, as we were looking for this uh, login thing, so you have class ico logon, right? So if you see class name, the class name is ico login. So same properties, but yeah, some extra things Tosca would give us. So href again, link of that is this. With this link as well, you should be able to identify that. Or you have inner HTML, inner text. I was talking about inner text, right? So inner text, this is nothing but an inner text now. Inner text, you are able to find this one, and then outer HTML we have. So you just sometimes like when you keep doing it, practicing it, go through what is available. So when you see uh, this part, so tag is a. So if you see this thing again, this is a, which means anchor tag. This is link. That's why the tag would be a. And yeah, visible in text. So all these properties for now. Yeah, when you have this properties, so what should we select? So by default, so since we are getting all this stuff, what I will do is quickly I'll close this. So we have something called uh, select on screen. So I will click this. So when you are on the screen, so we are scanning now. We are trying to get the elements element properties uh, that we are going to interact with. So in the screen, as part of scan, what you should be doing is try to get the elements, whatever elements you think would be you would be working on or you need it. So for now, what I would be doing, mostly I would need register, since if I just want to work on the this register flow, the test case. So for that, yes, I need register. I would need login thing as well. So for now, I just need only these two things. But yeah, anything else if you need, yes, you can get that part. So later stage again, if we felt later, okay, for now we just had two, but later if we just wanted to use a third one, that also you can do. I'll show that later how we can do that. So for now we are good with this. So select on screen and then unselect it. So if you say this, so if you just want to work with this, so whatever you have, you wanted is what you have got, then just unselect this, deselect this. So now this thing is deselected, and so we have got the properties. We have got the elements that which we want to interact with. And now just if you click here, and if you see the property now for register, what property do we want? By default, Tosca identifies with some default properties. For example, here it is identifying with inner text, register, and tag A. So these two checkboxes are checked, which means these properties are have been suggested by Tosca, and it is able to identify the selected item in a unique way. So let's say if it is not checked, what happens? So you see something called yellow color we get. And if you see one item is not unique, the selected item is not unique. So you have selected this and it is not unique. So if you see the selected item is unique and one item is not unique. One item which is not unique, the yellow colored one, which Tosca shows, it is not unique. So click on this and anytime. So why unique? We just have to make. Again, an example goes. So if you say you have hundreds of people, and out of that 100, you want to uh, address one person in that. How would you address it? By his name, right? So his or her name, you would identify. So same way, in Tosca, in this element identification purpose as well, that's where you have hundreds and thousands of elements, right? Out of that, if you just want to address to one specific thing, yes, with some properties you have to address it. And now that some properties would be like what? It can be name again, or it can be ID. So if you see in this, it can be name, it can be ID, or it can be some inner text. So something which is unique you feel. So it can be default name here. If you see register, if you think, okay, register can be multiple on the screen, uh, then first just click this, select this, and see if it is not unique. If it is unique, it shows, okay, selected item is unique. But then if there are multiple registers, then here as well with this properties, it would show it is not unique. It highlights in yellow in color, and then it says, okay, it is not unique. So with this property, yes, you can do, or as I said, name and then label. So just select, see if it is there, select if it is there. If it is making some sense and making it unique, yes, you can use that property. For now, as Tosca was identifying with the default one, I'm fine with this default uh, thing, inner text. Same way for the login. Yes, it is inner text, it is identifying with tag A. So multiple properties, it's not only one or two. So if you just remove this, so what are we saying? We are just trying to find some inner text which has a name value called login. So and on the screen, there's only one, and that's why it is saying selected item. The item is unique. So if there are multiple elements with inner text as login, then it shows yellow in color, it highlights, and then it says, okay, this is not unique, make it unique. So to make unique, select some other property instead of inner text, select some other property, or with the inner text, select something else as well, so that it would be good practice to make unique again. Uh, so I can use in that case tag, or the visible text, or something else, or the class name, or multiple properties. Again, keeping this, again, I also want to make sure, okay, the class has to be icon, icon login. So that way, uh, yes, we can do it. And now module we have got the elements that which we want to interact with the properties. So if you see Tosca, this is still empty, right? So as soon as you are done with the scanning thing, there's something called save or control S. So if you click this, so if you click this save thing, you see here under this, you have got this arrow mark, which means you have got something here. So if you see, if you open, you see this uh, property has been added. Now here, if you see the image for this module, so what this module is, what we did, if you double click and drag here, so you would see Tosca takes the screenshots of the modules, keeps it local, and then you would see, okay, with this also, okay, you can identify, okay, this is of demo web shop page with this elements were there at the time when we scanned it. So we can see that image, and then the properties that we have used. And then in this section, so here you would find this aroma. If you open, you would find the properties of how Tosca is identifying this particular thing. So Tosca has identified this one based on some default, so disable things used there. So this is default properties what Tosca has internally, which means you won't be able to edit these fields. You won't be able to edit this. But then other things, which is no, not in this disable mode, since this is in enable mode, you can change whatever you want. You can write, you can do this, but that, yeah, this is what and how did we identify it? We identified this with inner text and tag. And now this icons, if you just play, have a closer look, this is what technical property here. If you see, this is technical property. Even this is again interview questions. What is technical property? What is representation property? What is this steering property? We'll go deep later. I just don't want to confuse you on the very first day itself. So yeah, with this property and with this tag, we were able to find this. And the business type of that was link. So that's where it shows this link. So same goes with the other one. So this is how. And now if you see again, this is what under this we checked out, but this one, what does this mean? Can someone say?
Added newly.
Added a newly, and it is not there in the repository in the code. So if someone tries to get update all, they won't find this module because we haven't pushed it yet. We haven't sent it to the common shared repository. That's where they won't get it. So to do that, what we have to do, we have to say check in all. And once we do this check in all, that's where it goes off. And then uh, this would go, and the other user, when they take update all, or even when we are taking it, if some other user has added some module, some property, something, here we would get it. Uh, yeah, this is a bit of what I'm wanted to say for today's session. And then yeah, closing of this, we have something called close. You can click on this or close this, anything. We have to select this thing again. We'll go later on to that. For now, I'm good with this thing. So again, tomorrow, yes, we will continue again scanning properties and what all other options are available. And later, after a couple of sessions, we will create our test case, and then we'll use this modules, whatever we have created. So yeah, I guess I'm done for today's session. Any questions from anyone? I would take this silence as no, and I hope today's session was very clear. Everything, whatever I have explained.
Uh, Pradeep, then what is the purpose of installing Tosca server? Uh,
Uh, yes, Raviteja. So as I said, Tosca server in the initial time, the main component that we use of Tosca server is this test data repository, TDS. So we want to, let's say we want to pass some data to our test case. So we have an option called this test data service, and we also have other options, as I said. But then why only test data service is, if you have that question,
yeah,
I would say don't bother much about that part for now, because yeah, going forward in the sessions, I will be clearing I would be clearing all of these doubts. So when we specifically jump onto that topic, it would be more better, more relevant, even for you and for the others as well to relate it. So Yeah. For now, just understand that test data service is kind of uh, uh, the data that which Tosca would store and would use it.
Okay. Okay.
Anything else?
Nothing else, Pradeep. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you then.